Try to smile while you
Set
read.
camera action.
Manola.
You're very photogenic.
It's Manola.
Let's just look at me a while, you know?
Just be yourself.
It's
Okay.
Manola.
Take one.
Yeah,
Manola.
Manola Dargis, okay.
This is a review of
Say,
our movie.
Let me see, what was the title?
Tell them which movie it is.
Roma.
So
and we
the
don't
video.
understand the title. Because I don't
It's called Alfonso Cuarón's Masterpiece of Memory. That's what the title of the review is, Manola Dargis, on November 20th, 2018. In Roma, the Mexican director, Alfonso Cuarón, uses a large canvas to tell the story of lives that some might think small. A personal epic set in Mexico City in the early 1970s, it centers on a young indigenous woman who works as a maid for a middle-class white family that's falling apart. Cuarón uses one household on one street to open up a world, working on a panoramic scale, often reserved for war stories, but with the sensibility of a personal diarist. It's an expansive, emotional portrait of life buffeted by violent forces, and a masterpiece. Few directors tell large-scale stories with as much sensitivity as Cuarón, whose filmmaking style has grown more exhilarating as the expressive realism of his breakout movie, Y Tu Mama Tambien.
Oh, right.
He did, remember that?
That was wonderful.
Y Tu Mama Tambien. Oh, that was so good.
That was good.
Has been channeled into the restrained ostentation of his fantasies, Children of Men and Gravity. In Roma, he has further refined his style by marshaling various narrative strategies, including cinematic spectacle. Many directors use spectacle to convey larger-than-life events while reserving devices like close-ups to express a character's inner being. Here, Cuarón uses both intimacy and monumentality to express the depths of ordinary life. Roma shares its name with a neighborhood in Mexico City where families live behind locked gates and where maids, cooks, and drivers busily keep homes running. In one such house, Cleo, the newcomer Yalitza Aparicio, lives with and works for a multi-generational brood that scarcely seems capable of doing anything without her.
That's true.
In the morning, she wakes the children. At night, she puts them to bed. From each dawn and until long after dusk, she tends to the family and its sprawling two-story house. She serves meals, cleans away dog droppings, and carries laundry up to the roof where she does the wash in view of other maids on other roofs with their own heavy loads. The movie opens in 1970 with scenes that establish Cleo's everyday routine and, by extension, the parameters of her life. Much of the movie takes place inside the house, a recreation of Cuarón's childhood home, which is flanked by a gated, open-roofed passage filled with bicycles, plants, caged birds, and an exuberant, underloved dog named Boras. Cleo and her friend Adela, Nancy Garcia, the family cook, live at the end of the corridor in a tiny, cramped upstairs room. The women are from the same village in the southern state of Oaxaca and fluidly slip between Spanish and Mixtec, their native tongue, as they share gossip and sober news from home. A series of catastrophes slowly upends the stability of this world, starting with a business trip the father takes that proves calamitous. There's also an earthquake, a shattered window, an unexpected pregnancy, death, and betrayal. In one of the most astonishing sequences, Cleo and the family's grandmother, Senora Teresa, Veronica Garcia, watch a student demonstration turn into a police riot through the window of a furniture showroom. Cuarón doesn't identify the incident, known as the Corpus Christi Massacre of 1971, but fills in that day with visceral, harrowing flashes of chaotic violence, including a Pieta-like image
Oh, yeah.
of a woman crying for help while cradling a dying man. Cuarón served as the director of photography for Roma, and his work here is astonishing. He shot the movie in black and white, large format digital, creating images that have extraordinary clarity, detail, and tonality, with entire rainbows of gray, black, and white. Like Cleo, the camera is often mobile, anticipating and following her movements like a faithful companion.
Like across the street, all those scenes across the street were really good.
Cuarón is conversant in Hollywood storytelling, but here he also makes expressive use of the kind of tableau staging, arranging people in the frame, that is more familiar from art cinema. By letting a scene play out without much editing, he lets us see how each of these characters inhabits these specific spaces. Although Roma is autobiographical, Cuarón doesn't explicitly announce it as such. The family's 4 children, a girl and 3 boys, one presumably based on the director, one of the children, I guess, yeah. Maybe the one that thought he was being reincarnated, tend to blur into a cacophonous, charming little mob, and you catch their names only in passing. The father, Fernando Gradiaga, first appears on screen in a series of cubistic close-ups, a pack of cigarettes and a lighter, 2 hands casually holding a car wheel that suggests he isn't wholly present or knowable. The lumbering Ford Galaxy that he meticulously coaxes into the narrow corridor, inching forward and back.
That garage.
Yeah.